Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with special guest, Esra Ogut. Welcome.
Hi.
So
nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. And a mutual acquaintance brought us together today to discuss your wonderful book, Money Does Grow on Trees.
Yeah. What would you like to discuss?
So what led you into making this book?
Well, what led me is, we had a huge transformation many years back with our money situation. And then we started giving workshops, and then the workshops led to a certification program that we do, which lasts about a year and a half. And it's really to train coaches so that they can coach in the system that we coach. It's a very kind of committed, let's say, it takes a lot of commitment to be able to complete the program. And, we've seen just so many changes in the program in people's, not just financial life, but it could be health, it could be changed relationships with their parents or their loved ones, but also incredible jumps financially. And, I just wanted to get the word out there also for people that will not be able to attend the certification, because at the moment we're just strictly doing it in Turkish. We haven't opened it into the English language. And so the book is kind of, in that way, it has a lot of elements of the pieces we use in the certification program. And it was just my way of, getting it into the hands of other people that might not be able to be a part of that program for one reason or another.
Now, I know a lot of coaches that do anything from mindset to business and everything in between. And every coach has their own mantra or their own style of getting it through the people's heads that, hey, it starts with you, right?
Yes.
Anything that you do starts with you.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's mindset, it doesn't matter if it's making money, it doesn't matter what it is. It starts with you. Now, what is the mantra that would be your go-to besides starting with yourself?
Well, let me think about it. That mantra would probably be, we create our own reality, whether we end up liking the results or not. So let's go ahead and begin to discover how we're doing that. The majority, there's all these different pieces of what we do, but one of, I guess, the center pieces is, we've seen again and again in our own lives and with our clients, how belief systems that we're carrying go ahead and set up our reality in a very, very precise way. So one thing we love to do with our clients, and the subject can be anything, prosperity is just like one of those subjects, is that we get the client to, through asking them questions, through giving them exercises, get them to find their own belief systems regarding whatever the subject matter is. It could be a belief system that we have about ourselves, such as, oh, I'm not good enough. Or it could be, oh, I'm so stupid. And, we might not be conscious that's what we're thinking about ourselves. But when you go down to the unconscious level, which, it's not that hard to find, and you can come up with that story you have going on about either the self or finances or relationships or men or woman, and you can just see it for what it is, just a program. And then when you make a being choice outside of that program, that choice not to believe that story anymore and maybe rewrite your story within itself, like in that moment of having the aha, in that moment of seeing the illusion, your life can change in that department. So it's a lot of fun. It's like, solving this big puzzle we have going on.
Oh, yes, it's a lot of fun in the business world when you step back as I am just, you take out the I am just, and you go, I will become. You take it to that level. When you say, I will become, fill in your blank, whatever it is. I will become a manager. I will become a CEO, whatever it is. It's a lot of fun then because you have a lot of self-growth. And with
every word we speak is a prayer that must be answered by the universe. So the kind of terminology we use as we speak about ourselves or about prosperity or about business makes a lot of difference. One story that just comes to my mind that I feel like sharing is One of the clients, for example, I mean, she's doing really phenomenal right now, but when she came, she was, a yoga teacher, maybe making $2,000, $3,000 tops a month. And she had never had prosperity. So when we dug into what her story is, all of a sudden she remembered, and she had never thought of something like this before. She didn't remember having made that choice as such a young little girl. But she's in the car with her parents, just probably like 6 or 7, pretty young, or maybe 8. And her parents are talking about a friend of theirs who became extremely prosperous, either because he won the lottery or something happened where he got a whole chunk of big amount of money in a very short period of time. And the parents are saying, yeah, but he became rich and he went crazy. He let go of all his old friends. He's divorcing the wife. This is what money does to you. It can just make you lose all your stability. So there she is listening in the background, and she just makes a decision. Oh, I will never be into prosperity. I don't want to have prosperity because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to become crazy. Now, this is just the conclusion of a 7-year-old. So she made that choice back then. And then, of course, she forgets. But the ego keeps it in place for you, kind of shelves it into, your library of belief systems you have about things. And she realized, in remembering that moment of choice as a young girl, oh my God, my 7-8-year-old self is still managing my money life, as an adult. And as soon as she saw how ridiculous that is and decided, you know what, I don't have to go crazy just because I have money, her abundance just started just like skyrocketing. She finished the course about, I think, 3 years ago. Now she's about to sign a $10 million contract. This is how quickly it can change.
Yes. When you change your mindset and you change how you view anything, we're talking money because money is tangible. We all know what money is. When we change how we look at money because of something we did when we were kids, then you start dealing with lots of prosperity. You deal with the multi-million-dollar contracts. You deal with the millionaire friends. You deal with a different thing. And just because you're dealing with that on a daily basis does not mean you have to go crazy. It does not mean you have to let go of these friends that you had for a lifetime, unless they are the friends that bring you down.
Exactly. And I mean, like all of us, including myself, my story was different around abundance that was blocking me for a very long time, all the way into my mid 30s. But we all have different stories we've made up about abundance, about money. So it's incredible how much power we give to just a piece of paper. At the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper and nothing more. But the meanings we upload onto that piece of paper is exactly what decides how we end up dancing with it, if we end up dancing with it, or if we end up not dancing with it. One of the greatest things my mentor, told me very early on, I remember when I started working with him, was he goes, the only difference between someone who's abundant and not is a matter of choice. And it's that simple. And quite frankly, I didn't believe it was that simple at the time.
I didn't believe it either. And I have a wonderful mentor, and one of his colleagues is how we got connected. And he looked at me via phone or something that we're doing with the podcast. And why are you not more successful in life? What is holding you back? It's not you. What is holding you back? Because there's something there. I had to sit back after that podcast, and this is 2-3 years ago. Sit back. What is he seeing that I'm not? And I found it. I found my reason. So we get rid of the reason.
And what was it?
Well, one was a toxic relationship, but 2 was also my mindset that I don't deserve more. When you change your mindset that you do deserve it, you are worthy of it, and you can do it, to being, no, you don't deserve it, everything falls into place, one or the other.
Most definitely. And I think, one of the things that there's so many of us that like want a more, let's say, beautiful relationship, or want a relationship, or want more prosperity in our lives, or want to, be in the business of helping other people. And, when we don't manifest what we so call want, it's very, very important to look at, okay, what's my gain in not creating it? Instead of asking, oh, why can't I create it? Why can't I manifest it? What am I doing wrong? No, the good question to ask is, what is my gain? What is my benefit in not having what I supposedly so want? And from there, that's a very good starting point to figure out the belief system that's holding us back. For example, again, someone who went through our course, and she's just like so obviously just going to be a wonderful, wonderful life coach. She graduated, in a really good way. She just created miracle after miracle. Yet she just wasn't getting it together to start her self-giving workshops or start teaching people, although she really wanted to. And one day after the course, we're talking with her, and she's like, you know what? I really want this, but it's not happening. I really want this, but it's not manifesting. I don't know why. I really want it, but it's not happening. And I just asked her, I said, think about what's the gain. There must be something that you see as a benefit in terms of not going there. That's why you want it, yet it's not happening. And at that moment, she had an aha. And her aha was this: she had just given birth to a baby. And her belief system was, her mother used to work when she was very young, and she was rarely at home. She rarely was able to give attention to her as a little child. So her belief system was, if I work, I can't be a good mother. And that is why she was holding herself from manifesting the so-called thing that she wanted. And the minute she got what's her reason for not manifesting, she's like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I don't have to be like my mom. Coaching is something you do at home. I don't have to be that model. And the minute she dropped the belief system, the next day she had someone to coach. That week she started a workshop, and now she's like totally, flying.
Yeah, it happens that quickly. I went from, I have a publishing house, but I don't have authors. Why don't I have authors? Well, belief system is, if I get authors, I won't have time to write. I make time to write now. I steal minutes in the hour now. I just have to work a 9 to 5, like with my authors. 9 to 5 is for authors, and after 9 to 5 is now for writing. It's changing my belief system. So today, we started working on a new imprint for my publishing house, which is my third imprint. And by the way, I was doing that 3 years ago. I now have authors now. But we're now doing an imprint for a fraternity for one of the national colleges here in the United States. So their fraternity members, if they are an author, they don't have to send query letters to other publishers. They have a publisher for their fraternity. And I think we're starting out with 100 authors.
Well, wow. that is wonderful. I mean, it's quite something to be a publisher, because I originally had a publisher with this book, and then I realized, you know what, I don't think it's going to work out. And so I decided to go solo and to publish it from my own company. And it took me a year to figure out the ins and outs. And I cannot believe what an amount of work it is to publish. It's really kind of another world on its own. So I congratulate you. It's not a very easy business, for sure.
It's not an easy thing. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not something that you go into blindly. Well, on top of having the authors now, we're opening up very soon our own print and manufacturing with distribution for our own publishing house and for other publishers that can, can you publish it or print it and distribute it for us? Sure, we can do that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think it's wonderful to have it all in-house so that you can, kind of go in the direction that's your specific vision.
Yes.
Of doing things.
But, this wouldn't have happened if I didn't understand the why. Why am I holding myself back? What is holding me back? And how do we get past from A to B?
Exactly. A to B. I had a similar experience as you when I started coaching. My mentor, who had already been coaching me for 3 years, 4 years, he was always like, come on, Esther, when are you going to become a coach? When are you going to be a coach? And I'm like, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. And finally, his confrontation was like, what's holding you back? Exactly like your mentor. What's the belief system that's holding you back? And I, my answer at the time, 15, 20 years ago was, well, Daryl Rutherford was his name. I'm like, well, Daryl, I don't know like everything there is to know. I won't be able to answer all the questions that, people might have. And he turned around and he goes, Esra, when you know all there is to know, when you can answer all there is to answer, the journey will be over. You wouldn't even want to be a life coach. And there I kind of got it, that my belief system was at the time, oh, you cannot start something unless you're 100% perfect at it. And I realized, well, it's not about the perfection. This is my, oh, I'm not good enough yet, story coming up. And at that moment, I made a decision back 15, 20 years ago. And I said, you know what I already have to give to the world is very valuable. And the minute I made that internal decision and owned that, the next day, I mean, we're talking about even 24 hours didn't even go by. I was meeting someone for coffee. We just got into a conversation and she literally forced me to be her life coach. She's like, I want to take life coaching from you. And, from there, that's when the career started. It was with her. And then she told a couple of people. And then before I knew it, I was working with 15, 20, 25 people a week. And all it took was just getting out of the way of that story.
Yes. When you get out of your own way, it's amazing what you can do.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing. If people think, oh, I'm trying to manifest this money, but it's not coming. Well, what's stopping you? What is your why? It's individual. It's not something.
What is your why? And also, I think additionally, what's the benefit? I find that question extremely powerful, because it gets us out from the state of like, oh, but I can't, and maybe I feel this, and maybe no, you can. You are manifesting all the time exactly what you're wanting. You might just not be aware as to what you're wanting. Why?
Yes. I mean, these are very powerful words we tell ourselves, and we now don't even know we're telling ourselves this until we go to a life coach, till we find a mentor, till we have someone from our outside group go, what is your benefit of not doing this? What is your why for doing it? And what is stopping you? When you can answer those questions, even one of those questions, good things come to you.
Exactly. I think it's very important to wake up to how amazingly, what I love about this work, sure, the goodies come, like the better relationship, or the girl or the guy, or the prosperity, and you go off creating a new business. Those goodies are great. To me, why I love doing this, and it's my passion, is that in that process, people waking up to how incredibly powerful we all are.
That, and my personal thing is, who can I help today? By helping one person a day, I feel lighter.
Yes.
And when you feel lighter, everything good comes to you, because you're putting good back to the universe.
Yes, most definitely.
When you put negative to the universe, you get negative back.
Well, it's like a mirror, it's when we get up in the morning, if we smile, we're going to get a smile back. If we're like, cursing at the mirror, we're going to get some cursing right back at us. So, just to see that, everything out there is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. It's kind of like a theater.
Right. So we have one book out by you. Are you writing another?
You know what? This is just out, this baby. And, I finished writing it a year ago. I did not think trying to figure out how to publish is going to, take me another year. So I do have actually 2 more books in mind. I have no idea when I will get to it. One is going to be about the concept of death through the eyes of a cat, through an experience I had.
Okay.
And the other one is going to be, I think, a collection of stories of how in my life, as I have lived it, the lessons of love that I got.
Those sound like very interesting reads when they come out.
Oh, thank you very much.
And in the meantime, where can our listeners and our viewers find you?
Our website, our English US website is newly and freshly up. It is called Ike, my husband, my beloved husband, Ike and Esra now.com, IKE and ESRA now.com. So they can reach us from there. And besides that, the book is, on Amazon. It's supposed to be on pre-sale till September 6th, but the book has a mind of its own. So although it's not supposed to be going to people, it is going to people. I don't know how that's happening, but it is happening.
It is Amazon, and Amazon does whatever Amazon wants to do. And I will say that with love and affection, because we all love our Amazon, regardless of if we publish on there or just buy books on there. But they do what they want to do, really.
Yeah, they do. They do. And, living in Hawaii, anything that you order from Amazon takes forever to come here, like 15 days or something like that. So when I go back to the mainland, I'll be very happy in getting those deliveries like immediately from Amazon. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I mean, there's some of them, it takes me 15 days to 30 days to get. And then I have ones that come overnight. I'm like, there has to be a better algorithm out there, but it's, it depends on what store that you buy from on Amazon too. So, but we do love our Amazon for our books.
No, we do. We do. I've missed it since we don't have like easy access to it all the way in Hawaii. So.
But you have all the beautiful views there, and you can help so many people find their inner why.
Yeah, it's really like living in heaven. It's truly beautiful.
I'm just seeing if there's any more questions I can find about this wonderful book, because we work as life coaches, we work as mentors. Even if we're not certified life coaches, we still mentor through word of mouth, So this is very important. So again, the book is Money Does Grow in Trees. You just have to find your inner why, or inner what's holding you back, however you want to word this. So it was so nice and wonderful having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And much love and aloha from Hawaii.
And for our readers and our viewers, happy reading.